Welcome to Podcast on TechNation. This is a series of podcasts focused specifically on the biomedical and HTM industry. Episodes will be added monthly. Listening to each episode is eligible for 1 CE credit from the ACI. At the conclusion of this episode, you'll be able to access a survey that will appear under this episode's title. You'll be able to download your certificate once you submit the survey. Before we begin today's podcast, I'd like to invite you to our Spring MD Expo 2025. We will be in Temecula, California, April the 15th to the 17th. So please visit mdexposhow.com for event details and information. Podcast on TechNation would like to thank our sponsor, Multi Medical Systems. When you're in the business of protecting the health of patients, you don't have time for malfunctioning medical equipment or dull surgical instruments. You need a reliable partner that can provide expert repair and planned maintenance to ensure you have patient-ready equipment that meets or exceeds OEM guidelines and regulatory requirements. Multi-Medical Systems provides these crucial elements and others, such as on-demand temporary biomedical staffing, endoscopy and surgical repairs, infusion pump preventative maintenance teams, and equipment sales. For more information, please visit multimedicalsystems.com. In this episode, we are joined by Kim Rowland, Adriana England, and Amber Schwartzman of Women in Leadership.
Welcome back to HTM Insider. As you know, I'm Sherelle, your host with Multi Medical Systems, and I'm very excited about this episode today. We brought together some amazing women that I'm sure you've all met before or had some type of interaction, but we're going to be discussing women in leadership and what that means and how you can be a part of it, men or women. You know, if you want to support, we're looking for everyone to support this organization and really support the youth that are coming into healthcare technology management. Before I get started, since it is about leadership, I really wanted to, put it out there that leadership, and these women are showing it, it's not just a title. It's not like we're just calling ourselves leaders. They're not calling themselves leaders. It's actions, it's words, it's affirmation, it's lifting up. So without further ado, I would like to let the panel introduce themselves and just tell what your title is, maybe where you're from, your background with women in leadership a little bit, and then we'll jump into some questions and answers that I know I'm curious about and I want to share with the audience. Does that sound good, ladies?
Yes. Sounds good.
Perfect. Let's start with Amber because you're on my right side of my screen. Right. So go ahead, Amber.
Hello, I am Amber Schwartzman. I am the Vice President and Quality Manager for MW Imaging. I have been in ultrasound for over 30 years, always in an administrative role. Yeah, thanks, Adri. Just always on the backside of things. And April approached us last year. Can't believe it's been almost a year already. About starting this amazing group. And I know Adri's going to talk a little bit about the numbers and the growth that we've had in the past year, but it's just phenomenal the way it's taken off. So I'm really proud to be on this board.
Awesome. Yeah. Kim, jump in there.
Hi, and Cheryl, thank you for putting this together. I know I speak for the whole, for the board, that we appreciate you giving us this attention and being able to talk about not just the women in leadership, but to your point, leadership as a rule, and that's male or female. But I'm Kim Rowland. I'm the Vice President for the Women in Leadership Group. I've been in HTM for over 20 years now, and appreciate the opportunity to be able to support and to be a part of this group.
Fantastic. Adriana.
Hi there, I'm Adri. I have been in the industry. I started in 2008, so about 16 years. And I sit on the board as a secretary for Will. When April collabed and brought us all into one room, I turned and I saw Amber and Kim and April and myself. And I'm like, Yes, the answer was yes, because I have seen these ladies, they have a little bit more tenure than me, but we literally have worked side by side, but never conjoined together as a group. So I'm super excited for Will and the society that we're building.
I love it. And I feel like the baby in the room with only being 8.5 years in healthcare. So I love following y'all and watching what you're doing, and you're inspiring to me as well.
Thank you.
So I want to jump in there because if you haven't heard about Will, how do you connect? Adria, if you want to explain like how we can connect with Will. I know I'm connected. I filled out the form yesterday.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
awesome. Let everybody know how we connect with Will.
Okay, so April's doing a really good job of just being creative and finding other ways, because if you know, in HTM, our biggest probably communication is LinkedIn. So that's where we started. So we are on LinkedIn. It's under Will Society. We're a private group. So send us a link to join, and either one of us of the board members will approve you. We also have a brand new website. So it's willinhtm.com. So that has some of our war stories on there. The LinkedIn group is private because we're talking about real life scenarios, and we want to keep that private within our group to protect their privacy. The website is more of an open forum. So some of the people outside of Will, or even our managers who may not be a woman but are supporting us, they can go through and they can see our stories there as well. We're starting a new membership book. So it's going to be available. That's something that Danielle is helping us build with Amy. So we're going to be available that way. And we're even branching out on social media now as far as Facebook. I know Kim is doing a lot of Facebook interactions and the trade shows. So we're getting out there face to face. So there's quite a few ways to get a hold of us now if you'd like to join Will.
Yeah, I agree. You're everywhere. I see it everywhere. And Kim, you're a social media rock star. I love following you and watching you. So why don't you explain what the mission is about the group? Because I think that's really important, of what you guys stand for and what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And to your point, you guys, it's been almost a year. April presented this to the group to talk about her feelings and ideas around building a supportive community amongst women. And I got to be a part of that meeting, and it's been almost a year ago. And our mission is truly to build a supporting community. And I think since that meeting with females, it's snowballed. The amount of participation and people jumping in, and the leadership opportunities amongst the board and amongst all the people that are joining. We started out with there was under 10 people in that meeting. Now we're over 250 that are on the LinkedIn private group. Our mission, I feel like it keeps expanding, it keeps evolving, but it always circles back to supporting women and normalizing, whether it's technical, administrative, but our roles and the importance of our roles in this industry.
Yeah, I love that. I know I ordered my Will t-shirt and sweatshirt yesterday, and I saw some exciting news that they're out there. So since you guys are all wearing them, I know we all like to represent what we believe in. Tell us right now, how do we get our swag?
So we've got it posted on in the group. Obviously, there's a link within the Women in Leadership group on LinkedIn. You can also go to our website. April was successful in creating just a page for the Will swag. So I believe there are, we just finalized it. So I apologize. I haven't actually clicked the link.
It works. I clicked on it yesterday.
Good.
I bought yesterday while I was driving.
Hopefully you were our first order, Sherelle.
Yeah, I was a passenger, but I got a t-shirt and a sweatshirt because it's starting to, a crew tech sweatshirt. Yeah.
Were you excited about all the color options you had?
I did, but I still went with the royal. I did. I'm a royal blue or a navy blue kind of girl. But I do think it's great. I mean, not every color looks good on everybody, but I went with the traditional. You guys started with royal, and I thought that'd be good to.
Do you know the reason behind that, Cheryl? The reason April chose it because blue is traditionally a male color, and pink is traditionally a female color, and so she wanted it to be more on the not necessarily masculine, but just to say, hey, we can rock the blue too. You know, you don't have to be a man to rock the blue. And so for anybody interested, I guess, can you guys, if I show the back?
Yeah.
Can you see the back of it?
I love it.
that.
Yeah.
Empower her, lead her, and inspire her.
Yes.
Very,
yes.
very
And then-
inspirational words.
And then we also have Will pens that have been put together. These will be available at the MD Expo. All of the board members will be at MD Expo, and we'll all have them at our booths. And then we also have, I don't know if you can see these. So the smaller ones those were our first pins that were made.
Those are
And
cool.
so,
yeah.
So we're working on some other ideas, but these are the ones that have come to fruition. And I might say too that April did order the pink sweatshirt, right, ladies?
Yep, and it's perfect time for October for breast cancer awareness. I got a pink one as well.
Yeah. I might have to get a pink one now. I didn't think about it.
It wasn't every color, Sherelle. Because we are a small group. We don't really have funds right now. And MW Imaging actually sponsored the new Will pens, correct, Amber?
We did, yes.
Yeah, so things like that are just priceless for us because we have no money.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention in the intro that I'm the treasurer. So if anybody wants to make a donation, just let me know.
And we'll make sure to put all the links together. And maybe, what about MD Expo? You know, I've done the mentor buttons, but what if we get a lot of women to ask me about Will buttons? Maybe we'll sponsor those for MD Expo.
Yes.
You like that idea? Nice. We'll talk about it.
I love
that
idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can roll with that for sure.
I wanted to add that I had somebody reach out to me, and just in talking about finances, we are not making any money off of these t-shirts or any of the swag. We want to pass through that cost so that people can afford it. You go online, you order it yourself, you ship it to yourself, you know what size that you need. We've taken any of the administrative costs out of that so people can go ahead and order color and things like that, but also there's no upcharge on that at all. Everything that you pay for is part of the shipping or part of the product line.
That's awesome. And you know, I know you guys do get-togethers, and I know that would grow in the future if there are funds available, just so you can network, right? Speaking of networking, you talked about MD Expo. It's coming up. I'm going to be there, so somebody hit me on the head if I don't show up. Somebody come drag me.
So that's why it's so important.
Busy.
Yeah, that's why it's so important that we build this member directory that we're helping with, because not everybody's on LinkedIn all the time. So I'm doing my best to collect emails and phone numbers so that we can send a quick text message while we're at the shows, do a reminder email, set up some calendar invites so that we don't miss out on these opportunities. And speaking of MD Expo, we partner with the MD team, and we're going to do a photo day one of the booth. So on Wednesday the 9th, we're going to meet at 3 p.m. and do a photo with the MD team at the registration booth. So we'll make sure that we're announcing that as well.
Well, and Adrian, you don't even know this yet, but about 5 minutes, Kim, before we started, we finalized the details on the networking event. So
nice.
We will be getting, and once again, my boss has graciously stepped up to sponsor. April's company sponsored the one at Amy in conjunction with Amy, I believe. Sadly, I wasn't at that event, but so we'll get the details for that networking event out. I think it's Kim. What is it? Mimosas and mingle and mimosas.
Yes.
Yeah. Mingle and mimosas.
You're speaking my language.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get the details
a little bit. Yeah.
I like it. So when you're talking about collaborations, we've talked about a few things that I hear Amber with MW's doing and different companies, but who are you looking to collaborate with in the future? And can you give us some examples, Kim, of what someone can do to collaborate with Will?
I think the opportunities are endless. I think this is a group that we want to evolve. I think we've got a common goal and flexible to, what that looks like. We have been on the IHTM Friday night, BYOB, JC and all of Jewel Newell does a great job with that. And then I think, and you guys can jump in, I just feel like the opportunities are out there, and we're open to people connecting with us. I know we've got an ambassador program that we want to really, there's so many facets that we want to explore. We've gotten some great ideas, so many people interested, but we really need ambassadors. I think that's a program that we can get a larger part of the community to participate in and really connect the ideas to the processes, right? And the mentorship. Amy has a mentorship. We're trying to build a directory so we can connect mentorship ideas. There's a lot of things that we haven't fully put in stone, but I don't know that that's a bad thing. We know that there's a need. We want to meet those needs, and we want to be able to collaborate with people like you, Cheryl, with Jewel Newell. You know, there's a lot of great leaders out there that have things already in place. We don't always have to recreate the wheel. We're not here to compete. We're here to collaborate.
Right. I agree 100%. You mentioned a little bit about the mentor. So when I signed up, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening out there, you know, it came to me yesterday as an opportunity to sign up that Amy's was sponsoring it. And there was a question on there that said, do you need a mentor? And the other question is, would you like to be a mentor? And I checked to yes to mentor because I believe in that process wholeheartedly. And I'm excited to see who says they need a mentor. You know, who could I help lift up along the way? You know, and everyone's story is different, and you're going to find if you fit with somebody, and maybe you have to change it up. And as you go through your career, your mentor might change to fit your needs. But tell us more about that. I don't know who wants to take it, but what's the overarching goal on that?
Yeah, I was going to say the mentorship, I think, is going to address different needs. If you're technical, you know, maybe it's someone helping you through leadership through a hospital, you know, the right questions to ask. And maybe on the administrative role, maybe it's personal. I don't think we limit what that mentorship means. I know that Adri put a location as part of the directory, and Danielle has a great story about someone she has mentored. She happens to live in the same town, so they can meet in person. They can have coffee together, and I think that helps to build a more personal mentorship, which some people need that. I need that. I get that with this leadership team, with the board. We get to have FaceTime on, on Teams meetings and things like that. That helps me tremendously, whether it's a business discussion, whether it's a personal discussion. I think as females, I think that's what separates us. Our conversations are different. And I think the mentorship program is going to address all the variety of needs and expectations and wants and needs of what our whole premise and our whole drive is to build this community.
Mm-hmm. And
I agree. Go ahead.
thing, Cheryl, I know at the beginning of this podcast, you mentioned, you know, I'm the baby. I only have 8 years in. However, you're intimidating to me as far as a roadshow queen. So I'm like, I would love to be mentored by you at some point. Like, how do you do it? How do you get out there? You're so brave. You're at every show. I see you across, you know, California. And I'm like, you're out there doing everything. And those are things that we're looking for in this group, to not only mentor some of the younger people, the newer people coming in, but some of the experts that are good at this, but need a little help on this end. So we're looking for mentors across the board, like Kim said, with every avenue of our experience that we have.
Yeah, I think that's important. And I'm really impressed, ladies, that, you know, I watch it on LinkedIn and social media and what you guys are posting, and I look at the comments. And I love seeing the comments from men. Mm-hmm. They're supporting and lifting up and rejoicing in the movement and the efforts in the group. Leaders in the industry that are saying bravo. And I think that is impressive. And I think it is inspiring. And it does show you that sometimes when you're mentored, you know, I have a little bit different history than most coming into this career field, but when you're mentored by men and women at the same time, I think it brings together a great force of a person, of a leader, because you get to see all of the people, right? Because if you're going to be a leader in this industry, you're not just leading women, you're leading men as well, right?
Correct. Yep. Yeah. Our first mentor and person that we collabed with was Brian Hawkins, who is out there for everybody. He just loves people. And I think that's a perfect example of somebody that doesn't care your gender, your race, your title. He is just out spreading love and positivity to the entire world. And I think that's what our will mission is. But we're focusing on women to help inspire each other.
Yeah. Kim?
Right.
A valid point, Sherelle and Adri, and I know Amber would agree with all of this. We all have amazing women that have supported us. We have each other as a support, but there's plenty of males that I couldn't even name them all the ones that have been so supportive and influential in my career. So I appreciate you bringing up the fact we're not trying to separate male from female, but we do, to my earlier point, we do have different conversations, and being able to have this private group where we can sit around, be females, talk about, what are our common opportunities, let's call them, the things that we've got to improve on, the things that we can support each other in. I think that that's important to keep it separate, but at some level, it all comes down to a human element, and it can all coexist.
I agree. Amber, do you have anything to add?
I do. One of the things that I think is super inspiring to all of the women in the group is our War Story Wednesdays. And War is for Women are Remarkable. And to date, we've had 30 women, I believe, share their stories. So if you find a moment, go on our website and read through all of the different stories. And it's just really, it gives me goosebumps when I read through everybody's stories and where they started and where they are today. So it is, Kim. Yeah.
I've read them and I enjoy it because you don't always get that interaction when you're at a conference or you're meeting, doing some B2B business. We don't get to know all that backstory. And so it's really inspiring to know that I'm not the only one who just fell into this industry accidentally.
Right.
Literally. Right.
Same.
And know like the challenges. I remember days when I was trying to learn every surgical instrument out there and sitting on the floor with flashcards, pretty much in tears, which I don't cry too often. And my husband's like, you could do this. You could do this.
Right.
Yeah. So I love hearing all the stories out there. Now, I know that we have something coming up at MD Expo, and you have the membership drive going on. But what does 2025 look like, ladies? Like, what do you guys see planning out further? Tell me about it.
So I think overall, the big picture is Amy is our Super Bowl. I think we put a lot of effort, Danielle. We get a lot of support from the Amy community. That is our Super Bowl. But our intent is for every chapter meeting, every symposium, expo, anything. We really want to get the word out, be that source of comfort or familiarity. If you're a new person in the industry or you're a female in the industry, there's always a luncheon. I want to normalize that we're the group that can help introduce you around, even if you're not a woman in leadership member, on the LinkedIn page. We want to be synonymous with, I call it saving you a seat. So if you see me and I'm at a trade show, I'd be happy to introduce you around. I know these ladies are awesome. They know so many people. I think the networking part of that is key. So to answer your question, I would love to see us all wearing our blue shirts, being that familiarity and your pins. Yeah, so that we can be the example of collaboration and the co-opetition. I'm not here to, we're here to help each other, and to help each other is to help this industry be stronger. And ultimately, I think it all comes down to patient care, because if we're all working together to support each other, then it only helps for a stronger HTM industry, in the third party industry.
Great. I was in a male dominated industry for a very long time, and it wasn't about keeping you down. It's about lifting somebody up, right? It's when they fall is when you're there to support them. And when they're new, how do you interact with them and how do you mentor them, right? Leadership is not, you don't have to be a president. You don't have to be a vice president. You don't have to be a manager. You just have to be that person that has that heart to give your time and your effort and your kindness to another human being, right? That's leadership.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that this has so much more conversation behind it. I'm excited to see everyone in it's to Connecticut, right? Sometimes I forget where
Connecticut.
I'm going.
Yes.
Connecticut. I'm gonna make this event. I'm gonna make it this time. I made a photo one time, but I've got to make this event. So, if you want information out there, how you can join this event at MD Expo, you want to get in on the picture. You want to order some swag, some shirts, some pins. We're going to give you all the links on this podcast. You can go to LinkedIn on my page or any of the ladies' pages, and we're going to post it. Multi Medical Systems will have it available. And all you have to do is direct message anybody you see here or anybody in the group. And I know that they're going to get you connected and linked in with Will. So,
Yep.
ladies, at the end of every podcast, we end it with wow, words or word of wisdom. So I like
Really
to
quick,
hear what,
Sherelle.
go ahead.
There was one thing I wanted to touch on really quick for our 2025. I need to throw it out there so we can start spreading the word. We are going to be looking for ambassadors very, very, very soon. So that's why I'm collecting locations. People like yourself, you're a pure example of an ambassador that we're looking for. So you might not necessarily sit on the Will board, but you would be an ambassador for Will. So whatever territory you're in, you would represent Will, and go to those chapter meetings and go to those events. And there's so many trade shows that we can't all get to. So we're looking for Will ambassadors. So look for that soon. So I want to make sure that was on the radar for 2025 as well.
Sign me up. I have a crazy territory.
We already have you down, Sherelle.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go around the room because I think that we all, when we impart our words of wisdom to others, whether it's a quote or, something that you just truly believe in, I think that lets people know you. And I think it can be inspiring at the same time. So I don't know who would like to start, but I'd like to go around the screen here.
I'll start.
Okay.
Never underestimate your abilities.
Mine piggybacks on Amber's, and it really kind of reinforces that things aren't hard. It's just you've never done them before. You just got to change your perspective to know that you can.
For me, you guys know I'm always a lot. So I have two. The first
Okay.
one, and I do this in my day-to-day life. I think the very thing that comes to my mind is leading by example. We did not know what we were doing, but we're out here, we're leading and we're encouraging other people, but we have to make sure we're honest with ourselves, and we have to lead by example. And the best way to do that is, I feel in my heart, we rise by lifting others. So like you said, when they're on the ground, I will pick them up because I've been on the ground myself personally, and we're going to continue to rise together, but we need to lead by example, and we need to partner with women like you that are just as inspired as us.
Love that. Ladies, it's about being the person that you believe that you are capable and being comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's okay. So when you're uncomfortable, you have a group of people here already being assembled. They're going to help get you comfortable and help you believe in yourself that you are capable of not only today, but tomorrow and a 5-year plan.
Yep. And just to highlight that, we were very nervous about this. These are always a little nerve-wracking because we're all in different locations. We all have different formats, different setups, different meetings. And I reached out to April, our president, and I'm like, where are you? You're my security blanket. You have to be on this call. And immediately after, she didn't tell Kim or Amber that I made that call. She emailed all three of us and just gave us this paragraph of, you're amazing, you're the best, you're on this call for a reason. And we all just smiled because this is exactly what we do. We support each other behind the scenes, front lines. And April is just a pure example of why she's in the role, why she started the group, why she's the president. But she's also giving us the strength that we need to sit on this podcast without her.
Right.
Yes. 100%. And ladies, I'll share with everybody really quick, and it show you how you can be that person that April is. I reached out to some friends because when I started HTM Insider, there was no podcast. And when I did the very first 3 episodes, my bottom lip quivered. Oh. And I'm highly confident, but there was something about seeing myself and being on this podcast that it quivered. But I turned to other people that were my mentors, and I got that message. Adrienne, I got that message. So April, good job. You inspired these ladies, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in to another episode of HTM Insider. There's going to be more conversation about Will. Hope to have him back in 2025 and see you all at MD Expo in Connecticut here pretty soon. And, if you have any questions, we're all here to help. We're all here to grow the community and lift you up. So until next time, we'll see you later, ladies. See you at MD
Thank
Expo.
you.
Yeah.
See you there.
Thank you.
Bye. Love you.
Thank you for a great presentation. If you enjoyed today's episode, you might enjoy our ongoing webinar series, Webinar Wednesday. You can find a calendar of upcoming live webinars, as well as an archive of on-demand webinars at webinarwednesday.live. To obtain your certificate of 1 CE credit from the ACI, please remember to complete and submit the survey located below the podcast title. If you have any questions, you can reach us at webinar@mdpublishing.com.